This is a two-parter because this Afghanistan takes up more than anything else, and I just want to get this taken care of before we get back to domestic issues. The This sucks. Afghanistan is one of this is a failure across multiple levels, but it started with the last president. Could Biden have made changes to the withdrawal agreement? Yes. Why didn't he? That whole thing of norms, of stability within norms, a stability over time, where present presidents and governments acknowledge the past presidents and governments and the agreements they made. What Trump did by not doing that, it really, really did a lot of damage to the world itself and our safety, because he doesn't view safety within himself. He views safety as an externalization of self. And that's something further on. Once again, I have to keep these two separate, but they're very much intertwined, especially what you're seeing with these school mask mandates. But, and the very visceral reaction to their persons, or heads are about to explode because of some freedom that they think they're losing or being controlled into doing. And that's because they're afraid that you're going to do to them what they would do to you, which, you know, judging by their behavior, they must have had some really bad thoughts, and they're having a tough time dealing with it. But that's basically Trump's main fear. That is Trump's fear. He's going, he's afraid he's going to jail, so he's going to keep creating more of a mess. But he created this mess in Afghanistan for himself because he was expecting to be there. So he released 5,000 of their fighters, okay, and their main dude, leader from jail. He then had him go to Doha, ignored the central government in Kabul, so basically saying they don't exist. Knowing that they're authoritarians, this is still that authoritarian lurch forward. What did he expect would happen? He would get out, it would collapse, be a big mess, they would kill somebody, oh, look so terrible. Now he has to go in, create another mess, or I didn't see anything, not my problem. Let the Chinese deal with it, create a bigger mess. Remember, he is destroying things. That's what they've said. They all of his constituents are destroying things. This is this whole white nationalist thing. That's the same thing that's going on in Armenia. You have this Putin playbook in Armenia on one side, and then people who want to be free on the other side. Now, Putin didn't have anything to do with Afghanistan outside of normal things that countries do as far as his normal playbook. This is purely a theocratic state. This is kind of almost like what Christian nationalists kind of want to do here. And they have stated this directly. This is the banification of policy making. Something, and what makes it is like some things like, yeah, okay, it makes kind of sense, dude. But they're straight up all about this genetic stupidity, and not realizing it has nothing to do with genetics. It has to do with the way we organize ourselves as human beings and how we wish to treat ourselves. Yes, because we are our ideals come out of Christianity, of you are, and more precisely Protestant Christianity, in that you are separate as an individual, and we have to, and then we respect that individuality. It seems to be a really big, hard, difficult thing, especially now after I look at the way people project themselves onto others, and the expectations. But back to which that all rolls into where our where I'm thinking of where this our last president set this up. How did he set this up? Because he doesn't want to be looked at as a loser, but yet he created this situation which would have caused great chaos. Now, if there's going to be chaos, then he has to create. He's already stated he viewed everything as chaos and horrible, and it's only he can fix it. He's the chosen one, not he. Everything positive he pulls onto him, and everything negative he externalizes onto everybody else. And then those people have that externalization, and then they rotate it onto somebody else. That negativity that they can throw to somebody else. And how does he do that? That's the question that keeps bugging people. He gets them to act it out. And now, what got me about the school, there was a video, school mass, protect their children from this virus. You know, science, something that we've been living with for at least the last 100 years. Just put on a freaking mask, dude. It's not that bad. Wrong. It is that bad. If you do go to, yeah, you don't get sick, that's fine. But if you get sick, you go to an ICU bed. And all of this is done by the foreign president because he needed object permanence. He needed to see have his people see there they are. Oh, you're one of my people. You're one of my people. So you got the red hat. Oh, no mask. You're my people. As opposed to still being instead of taking care of his people. Yeah, you might be wearing a mask, but you're putting on a hat. He couldn't do that because he would be able to see them. He would have to actually look them in their eyes, as opposed to look at their mouths and see what their mouths are doing. See, narcissists, not that he's people who are manipulative in that way, they might look you in the eyes, but they're not looking at you. And if you're wearing a mask, he would have to look at people, look them in the eyes, and not be afraid of it, and he would terrify them. Interesting. But here's the thing. So what this is all the same situation going on and giving both the Chinese and Putin what they want within Central Asia. This guy was a puppet. But I'm not going to go any farther on that. I was hoping when I would look at Vietnam, we do have decent relations that maybe in the future, one day, um, that maybe you can go to Vietnam now. You can still. I think we do. I don't didn't really look at the. Um, let's see, we have an embassy. Uh, I know we have an embassy. I know there's people who go there. There's pictures of people going to Vietnam all the time with American passports. It's what maybe that there at a time we can come back to. Uh, we'll look happily upon what we did, but not the way we left sucks, and the way it was set up by a complete jerk sucks. There's one thing that was a couple of things about that was really the fact that here we got an electrification. The Taliban to keep those assets rolling requires intelligence and requires education. Um, it's going to be interesting to see what happens because there's a generation of Afghanistans who grew up free, and a person who's been free doesn't will never allow themselves to be a slave. So they have to trick them. But so telephones, use 22 million mobile cellular. So they have telephones, but this is what natural gas right there. That is for blue hydrogen. Uh, that's interesting. you know. But that's another video or that I goes down to what I was actually wanting to speak about earlier. But the it sucks, dude. I know there's a lot of people who are really pissed off right now, and unfortunately, they're going to throw it at Biden for not changing. But the reality is, I'm truly, it was last dude. The way he set that up doesn't make any sense unless he was purely, truly trying to create chaos. Congratulations.